Hello and welcome to episode 38 of the Rugged Angel Cast. I am your host, Camila. You may be listening on WMCK.FM or you may be listening on iTunes or SoundCloud. Either way, welcome. I'm glad you're here because I have a very special guest today and I am uber excited about it. But before that, I just wanted to remind you, Pittsburgh, of the Rugged Angel Party that's happening on March 23rd at Spirit Lounge in Lawrenceville, 7 p.m. It's basically an extended happy hour. We're running from 7 to 10. It's just a little time to shake your booty. You come on in and, party with some rugged angels who have been on the show and myself and other people who are coming to support. And so I hope to see you there. $5 cover. You can get more information at ruggedangel.com and also on our Facebook page, Rugged Angel Productions. Rugged Angel is one word. Music will be provided by DJ Khalila Shabazz. Okay, so my guest today. Let me tell you a little story first. A few years ago, I was at an event or running an event or something at the Hollywood Theater in Dormont. Shout out. And we were showing a film, and the wrong film started to play. The film Big Ass Spider was playing. And if you've seen the movie, it's not a bad movie, whatever. But the beginning, the opening, has this song, this version of Where Is My Mind? The Pixies song, Where's My Mind? There's a version of it sung beautifully, arranged magically. And the singer is this woman named Storm Large, who I immediately had to go find the song, download it, etc. And then right after that, I went on to find more exciting and just female-empowered songs by her, and I was immediately in love. So then fast forward to a couple weeks ago when I decided to go to Adventure Bingo, hosted by Alexi Morrissey. Shout out. It was a Buffy bingo. If you know me, you know I'm a Buffy fan. And just so happens that Pittsburgh's golden boy, David Conrad, was there as well. And so, we played bingo and whatnot. And then at the end of the night, he announces that Storm Large is going to be in Pittsburgh the following week. I screamed, I squeed, I jumped up and down. I went home and immediately bought my tickets. A few days later, we go to the show, even after I am just like mad tired from a trip that I had taken the night before, like a few days before. We go. It's great. It's a benefit for John Fetterman, who is running for Senate here in Pittsburgh. Shout out to John. And Storm comes on stage, whatever. Yes, Storm is there. She's performing. She's kicking ass and taking names. I am getting my life. I'm loving everything about what's happening. And as if, the concert already wasn't just amazing and mind-blowing enough, just me being there to see her, I get called up on stage to sing with her. Now, of course, I immediately blanked on the lyrics of my usual go-to karaoke song, but it still didn't take away from the fact that I was having a great time. After that, after the show and everything, I chatted with her, asked her if she would be on the podcast, and oh my God, she said yes. So, children, today I am bringing you a podcast with Storm Large, and I managed to keep my act together. I did not fangirl out too bad all over her while she was here. And as a bonus, David Conrad was also in the studio alongside with us. He was trying to be respectful of the female vibe that was happening, and he didn't offer too much information or anything like that. And, but I am going to get him on a different podcast, so don't you worry. So Storm Large was here celebrating International Women's Day with me, and I am just so thrilled about it. I have made a new friend, and I am super psyched about it, if you can't tell in my voice. My goodness, I still can't believe it. Okay, so also, you should know that this podcast is not going to be safe for work. It gets unapologetically raw, so put the children to bed. If you're at work, put your earbuds in, listen to this privately, because things get a little wild. And I'm okay with that because Storm was amazing, and I can't wait to hang out with her again. And, smooches and love and kisses to you, Stormy. So just so you know, guys, you may be disappointed if you fail, but you are doomed if you don't try. Beverly Sills, an American operatic singer. Now, finally, let's get into the show. Hello.
I love that it's International Women's Day.
I know, right?
And we're two women of color sitting here. Me more Easter, but
a little more Easter color, but that's cool.
Easter colors work.
Colorful as hell.
I feel like it's good feng shui for my upper body because my lips and hair and nipples all match.
Cheers.
Cheers, dude.
All right. Storm Large.
Yes, ma'am.
Welcome to the Rugged Angel Podcast.
Thank you so much for having me. I love Pittsburgh. Are we allowed to say we're in Pittsburgh?
Yeah. Fuck yeah.
Awesome.
You can shout out whatever you want to shout out.
Fucking love this city. Stop moving here.
Are you going to?
No.
Here?
I love Pittsburgh, but I can't really live anywhere yet. I'm actually my home is Portland, Oregon. Stop moving there too, fuckers.
They're in your way.
Oh my God, they're everywhere. It's like. Anyway, Portland, Oregon is a wonderful place, and people have been referring to to Pittsburgh as the Portland of the East.
Yeah.
And so I've been talking to a lot of people who are in touch with city planners. I'm like, just keep Portland on your radar as a cautionary tale, because a lot of money is coming in, and they're buying up older properties and tearing them down to create new fancy condos. So people who can afford just to move here just for a lifestyle, not moving here necessarily vocationally or they're moving to Portland because it's great and it's a beautiful place to live and it's easy living, and but they're not contributing necessarily other than tax wise, and we don't have sales tax, but they can afford a lot more, but they're not necessarily economically contributing to the existing neighborhoods.
So they're just taking up space.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, I understand that gentrification is kind of inevitable in some ways, because as an artist and as a formerly homeless person, you go to the poorer neighborhoods because you can afford it. And also in the old days, it was gay people too would go to the poorer neighborhoods because gay people were also ostracized. And then someone would hear about a cool restaurant in this neighborhood that might be dodgy. I don't know. And then they're like, wait, I see a white person.
It must be
it's
safe.
not that bad.
It must be safe.
And then gentrification kind of then it's sort of like a snatch and grab. Yeah. And I'm being oversimplifying. I'm aware of these problems, but I lack the skills, the math skills and the organizational skills. But that's why I like having conversations with you and with people in different cities and talking to people in Detroit about what do you do when you become very hot and you still have financial need in a city, but these wonderful rich people are coming in and making Portland this nirvana for themselves.
Right.
But not spreading it around.
Like absolutely like pushing out everybody. And like one of the things, like East Liberty is like absolutely like taking that as victim to that right now. As to where it was like this, and I'm not from Pittsburgh originally, but I've been here since 98, so long enough. But, when I got here, I saw, there was all this this community going on there in East Liberty, and there was a specific place, Shadow Lounge, where a lot of artists just would kind of, gather, and that's where they were. And there was like a bar, a performance place, art space, and it was a great spot.
That's awesome.
And shout out Justin Strong. And that was like one of the places that I would go, and no matter what time of day, what day of the week, I knew I would find somebody there that I knew, or I would make a new friend. And you could go there dressed up, you could go there dressed down. It just didn't matter. And now there's this diaspora of like Shadow Lounge refugees, like kind of scattered about the city, like still trying to find and recapture that lightning in a bottle.
Right.
And so now they're moving in Whole Foods and Target and Trader Joe's, and and now they're wanting to call it not East Liberty anymore, but I forget exactly what they want to change the name. And so.
Well, I don't know if you guys have them I've seen a couple, but I haven't seen many. But in Portland, we're kind of food truck crazy because small business in Portland, it's very challenging. You have to jump through a lot of hoops to open your own private small business.
Right.
And I had a friend who wanted to open just like a drive-through coffee truck, and every time he talked to the city, it was a different zoning thing, it was a different legal thing, it was a different construction thing, and he just had to jump through, and it didn't. It finally went, but it just was a huge pain in the butt. So a lot of people started to get around the brick and mortar insurance and necessities for all of these different things to be like T's crossed, I's dotted, by having a food truck because it's contained and you park it, and the kitchen is very contained and very easy, very small amount of employees. And so it caught on, and not only caught on, but became an aesthetic. So, you get dinner at a food truck. It's not like a taco truck in LA, though there are some amazing taco trucks in LA. It was like you go to it's called a pod, and we had neighborhoods that were just, a giant lot that was not being used. It wasn't even a parking lot. And so it had been sort of designated for these food trucks and neighborhoods. So at lunchtime, working people would come there, neighborhood people bring their kids. There might be picnic tables and amazing gourmet food. And so now these lots are being coveted by outside developers. And there's a $1.5 billion plan on the table for Portland to completely eradicate 3 of these pods. God. And so I'm like, this is going to displace hundreds and hundreds, not only hundreds and hundreds of jobs, but it's going to displace, again, the thing that people want to move to Portland to enjoy.
Right.
And so, I don't know. We're here to talk about vaginas, I think. So
we can specifically.
You could talk about my vagina. It's if you want to, but can we call it pussy on your?
Yeah, because I recently learned that you do not like the word vagina, and you've made very valid points about that. Vagina. It does sound very technical. It sounds very displeasing.
It sounds like a fungus. It sounds like something you say when something is unappealing, like the face
vagina.
You make. It's like the guy who was in the lab who was like, "Hey, Melvin, what are we gonna call this delicious pink, like butterfly-looking thing that's like the beginning of life? That's like the source of life, and it smells good, tastes good. It's ticklish, and it's in the middle of a woman. What do you think we're gonna call it?" And I think we're gonna call it. I don't know. It's a vagina. Because, it's like when a woman's legs are closed tightly, it looks like a V.
Right.
Nah. And then nah at the end of it, which means basically it's the wimpy way of saying no.
Nah.
Yeah. Nah. So pussy sounds great.
It does, actually. I mean, it's much more delightful.
Yeah. Friendly. Sounds like, friendly.
Hey, come here.
I mean, you could have an alien from outer space and lands, and then the doors open, the smoke comes out, bloop, 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 bloop. And you could be like, "Oh my gosh, alien from outer space, please, before you destroy us, would you like some vagina? Bloop, bloop, bloop."
Dead.
Okay. Well, what about some pussy? Bloop, 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 bloop.
Tell us more.
I'm telling you, it would save the world. I'm just trying to save the world. Semantically.
So speaking of pussy, happy International Women's Day.
Woo!
And International Women's Month, March.
Nice.
And, I like to celebrate Women's Day every day.
Because
I'm a gal.
Because you're stuck in that delicious body.
I love that shit. And so, I'm this wonderful performance that you just gave. That I found out that you have a lot of theater background and cabaret.
I don't have that much theater background.
Okay.
Considering what a drama hag I am, I'm very theatrical, and that's always kind of been a negative adjective for a rock and roll person. Being dramatic. And if you're like, well, what about David Bowie and Freddie Mercury? They're like, oh, so you're comparing yourself to David Bowie and Freddie Mercury? I'm like, yeah. Actually, that's kind of how I perform, because I'm a fucking ham. You can't take your eyes off me, because unless you're a dick, and you are a dick, so Anyway, because it's emotional what we do.
No, absolutely. You get up there and you bare your soul.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Not to mention just the fact that, I mean, you're not just writing the songs.
Yeah.
And putting your soul with pen and paper out there,
Right.
but you're out there just like bearing it all. And
right. And there's nothing in between what I'm feeling and what I'm going to make you feel. It's such a visceral and immediate art form, and so contagious in the sense. I mean, if you're having an experience with live music and you're not enjoying it, that's one thing. But if you become engaged with an artist, if you like what is happening, or if it's someone who's your absolute favorite or you're a big fan, the live experience is such an intimate. When you connect your phone, to your computer, and all of a sudden everything starts kind of syncing and downloading into itself. It's the same kind of thing. There's you link into the person or the message or the band or the energy or whatever that unnameable electronic id that's pulsing off of the stage, and it downloads all of these things. And for people who aren't artists and who aren't musicians, who can't express themselves necessarily, we all feel this. It's a universal experience to feel all the same things, but it's not a universal experience to be able to convey that to another. But it's a universal necessity to feel like you are not alone. We need to feel like we are connected, and we are understood, and at the end of the day that we are loved, and that we matter, and that we belong to something or someone.
Absolutely.
And that is all art, but for me that is music.
And how long? When did you write your first song? When did you?
I was 5.
5 years old. Do you remember what it was about?
It fills you up when you're feeling down. It's a Snickers bar, Snickers bar, Snickers bar. I made that up. And if anybody uses it and I don't get any money, I'm killing everybody.
Fuck yeah.
I wrote that when I was 5. Because guess what? I loved Snickers.
Well, yeah. I mean, you're 5 years old. You're going to write about what you love. And I mean,
and I had just eaten one, so I was jacked.
So you were feeling it. That shit was
Snickers bar needs a song. I'm going to write it right now.
That's fucking amazing. The 5 years old wrote that song. And that was the moment when you realized that, you know what? I am going to go and kick some ass on stage.
No, it wasn't actually. When I would go up to people, I'd be like, I wrote a song for Snickers. They'd be like, shut up. You know, you're a girl. You get told to shut up.
Yeah.
Where did you grow up?
Toledo, Ohio.
Oh, okay. So, yeah, that's kind of like girls don't stand out. If you stand out and if you're weird,
keep it quiet.
Be quiet. You know, lose some weight. How about maybe do your hair? How about maybe put on a dress? Don't look like a unmade bed or a homeless person or whatever.
Yeah. I fought a long time against all that.
I think we all do.
Yeah, I was a skater punk for a while.
I wasn't as coordinated. I was a skater injury person. No, I couldn't skate, but I was like China Forbes and Thomas Lauderdale and Pink Martini. They both went to Harvard at the same time. And I always joke with them. I'm like, we were all at Harvard at the same time, but I was outside. In what they call the pit, which was where the skaters all hung out, and I was like begging for money.
Oh, jeez.
I was like, that was when I was at Harvard.
Where did you grow up?
Massachusetts.
Okay.
So I would run away from home, and I would either take the bus or I would end up getting dropped off in Harvard Square or Kenmore Square, where the Rathskeller was, and the Spit, Deviate, and Fenway Park. There's lots of places to sleep in and around Fenway Park, and there were squats, and then there were people older than us that had apartments, and I figured out how to cook, so I'd make dinner for everybody, and then I'd be able to crash at their house, or if I was having sex with somebody, I could sleep in their car, or I could sleep in their place.
So this is like teenage years. You're in and out from home.
Yeah, like 14 to 17 mostly.
And at what point did you just? At any point did you go back home and just
oh
realize
yeah, I could.
Or this was just kind of like, just because I'm gonna go out and see the world. Nobody wanted
me. It's like I grew up on a school campus. In the first 7 years of my life, it was a boys' school campus.
And at any point, honey, if you don't want to tell me anything, feel free to.
Well, I'm not
Shut
gonna.
it down.
I'm not gonna. Why is your? Can you see my Adam's apple? No, no, it's fine. I don't. You know, I don't have any secrets. I'm not ashamed of anything. But yeah, when I was a kid, my mother was mentally ill, and she was always locked up in a mental institution. And when she would come home, it would be really great. It would be these incredible highs and lows, but then the lows were pretty intense. And you know, she was obsessed with me, and it was a situation at the end of her life, and with all of the things that I've learned about mental illness and about trauma, and about, you know, just being a woman in the world. You know, she wasn't adopted out of an orphanage until she was almost 4 years old.
Yeah.
And before that, she was born in a whorehouse and didn't stay there very long. She was given up for foster care.
Okay.
And then she was in the foster system for a few years, and then in an orphanage when she was adopted by these very rich, fancy people that didn't have a lot of love and affection from really anybody. So she was just ruined by the time she was 4 or 5 years old.
Right.
So it wasn't a technical mental illness other than sadness and trauma. So I could see in her eyes when she would look at me that she loved me so much, but would look at me and I could hear her thoughts of no one loved me the way I love you.
No.
And so her loving me was almost like an affront to her. So there was all kinds of drama around that. She was the loveliest, sweetest, kindest, more self-destructive than she never beat me or anything like that. She would poison me, but she was crazy. She wasn't angry or hateful or really wanted me to die. She wanted me to be sick so she could take care of me. It was a Munchausen by proxy, yeah. And so my father just all-American, Princeton, gorgeous man, just everything kind of linear laid down for him, and has this situation at home. He just kind of focused on work.
Right.
So, yeah, I ran away a lot, but no one ever beat me. I always had a place to go. I always had food to eat. But I was angry, and I didn't want to be my mother. I didn't want to become her. I didn't want to become what I saw my father's world. I knew I was going to be either dead or different.
Right.
And so, yeah, I have that book, Bad Feminist.
Yeah, I haven't read it yet, but I just got it.
I'm working on it. I'm hoping it doesn't infuriate me.
I have a stack of friggin' books. I just keep buying
Girl,
and buying books.
I know.
And it's
I got a Kindle, and I was like, I need a Kindle because I keep buying books, and I'm on tour all the time.
Yeah, and that makes sense for someone who's on tour all the time to have a Kindle, but I just love
I love books.
the
I
paper
know.
and
I like how frickin' I want to hold it and smell it and fold it and write in it and...
And speaking of books, you wrote one.
I
just found out last night that you did, and it was based off of your one-woman show,
right? And it was released through Simon & Schuster. It's called Crazy Enough, and I thank Dave in it. Actually, Dave Conrad, because
I'll see it because I purchased it last night.
Oh, you did?
Yes, I'm waiting for it to come.
Oh, okay. Because he is thanked because
that's David Conrad, folks, who's sitting here in the stewed.
He's a Pittsburgher, and
Pittsburgh.
I'm in the background.
Pittsburgh's golden boy.
He's sitting back there judging.
I've been allowed into the coven.
That's right. We've let him in. We've parted the labia. Now he's sitting. He's tucked up against the cervix, and he's gonna learn some things.
He looks lightweight, uncomfortable.
No, Dave is a marvelous man, and he has so much better. I have the worst dyslexia, and it takes me forever to finish books. And Dave is a very voracious reader, and one of my smartest friends. And so I sent him. I think I sent him the finished product before I sent it off to the editors. And he wrote something incredibly insulting, and then he's like, "I'm actually just kidding. It's fucking awesome. I'm amazed at your courage and really well read, dude. Really well written." And so that was a good enough pat on the back for me. And
how did you kids meet?
on the street.
On the streets?
On the rough streets on Abbott Kinney. Those hard, cobbled streets of the bougiest part of California. Actually, no, Venice.
So what, you had to, like, I don't know, pull down his collar on his polo
I
shirt?
did not know where you were saying pull down and the first letter C and O.
Oh, my God.
You had to pull out his collar. I was like,
right, it was getting a little
no,
awkward.
man. Well, we became friends first, and we were old-fashioned. No, we just been friends, and
Smash the commandments in a weekend. That's sort of...
it was kind of great.
Smash the commandments in a weekend.
Yeah, he came up to Portland and actually was kind of cool because he had shot a film in Portland and fell in love with the city, and he had some friends up there, and he said, I'm coming up there and love to hang out, and I am kind of the David Conrad of Portland.
Okay.
And so he's like, I'm coming up this weekend. I go, okay, well, you could be my date for this thing, but I'm also doing something for the ACLU. I'm also doing something for this literary benefit for teachers, and I'm kind of also judging this other thing. But come and be my date for this big gay rights gala, as he said on stage. And it was interesting because it was the first time we'd ever met, and there was all these heavies, and the woman who she then was our Secretary of State, Kate Brown. She's now our governor, and I was hosting the thing, and I said it was sort of a general ask and an auction and kind of thing, and I was asking people for money and asking people to promise that they would vote for LGBT rights. And there was this big bridge. Cross the bridge. Come to me and promise me that you're going to, if you can't donate, you can at least promise me with a handshake that you will vote. Right. You will vote down anything that is anti-human rights. And so all these people walked over the bridge, and a bunch of people gave money, and some guy gave like $10,000, and I kissed him. And not like tongue or anything, but I kissed him. And then someone raised their hand. They're like, "I will give $10,000 if Storm Large kisses me." And I was like, "All right." So I started auctioning off kisses, and then our Secretary of State, Kate Brown, walks over the bridge and she takes the microphone, and this is our governor now, by the way. She goes, "I don't have $10,000 to give, but I want Storm Large to kiss me." And there are pictures online when she became governor. They're like, Kate Brown is most famous for making out with local singer Storm Large. I like pinned her down. I dipped her. It was very romantic.
You got in there.
And he was so nice about it. I mean, this was like a first date, and he wasn't judgy or mean or angry. And
I was a little worried it was going to cost me $10,000.
No, I just charged him my day rate. That's cool.
That was very kind of you.
He's a good guy, but we're still friends, and after that, we had a long talk about Pittsburgh, and he was just like, that could never happen in Pittsburgh. And I go, oh yes it will. Yes it can. I'll make it happen in Pittsburgh. Let's do it.
Fucking do it, man.
And that was like 10 years ago, and but it seems that things have really progressed in Pittsburgh. But hopefully the way things have progressed in Portland, there's a lot of good, but there's a lot of challenge, and I see it happening here.
All of my life I've never fit, but I won't complain and I won't quit. I am enormous, get used to it. Everyone tells me I'm too much. Maybe it's just you're not enough for me. Can't you see? I'm the kind of woman I'm supposed to be. Hey, my vagina is 8 miles wide. Absolutely everyone can come inside. If you're ever frightened, just run and hide. My vagina is 8 miles wide. Tell me, what is womanly to you? Strong but not too much of a brute. It's cool if she's powerful, but way better if she's cute. I'm not a whore. This is a metaphor for my super fantastically mystical feminine goddess core. And I hate it when women make that noise, that we don't need daddies, men or boys. Even the hardcore dykes love cock-shaped sex toys. Oh, my vagina, it's universal, like a penis, but reversible. Come on in, the water's fine. It's not my vagina, it's our vagina. My vagina is 8 miles wide. Everyone can come in, come in, come inside. Echo, 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 whoa, 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 just the boys.
My vagina is 8 miles wide. Absolutely everyone can come inside. If you're ever frightened, just run and hide. My vagina.
My vagina is 8 miles wide. Absolutely everyone can come inside. If you're ever frightened, just run and hide. My vagina is 8 miles, 8
We're trying here in Pittsburgh. I would like to think.
It's a
Anyway,
fantastic city.
I mean, I've come across a lot of great people here in Pittsburgh, and I've made like a lot of wonderful friends. And and it's weird because it's like one of those. I'm not from here originally, so when I'm here, it's like, oh, where are you from? Toledo, Ohio. But when I'm anywhere else, people are
Pittsburgh.
like, yeah, where are you from? Pittsburgh.
Right.
And it's just, I don't know. It's just one of those things that gets in there because my plan was to come here, go to school, and just peace out. But I just
You met your husband, or
well after the first husband.
yeah, girl, you are young. You've been married twice.
I just turned 40 last week.
Look at you with all your future. I've never been married. No one's ever wanted to marry me except one, and he was crazy. And I almost killed him in the jungle. That's not why he didn't. That's why. That's
I'm
not.
gonna say, well, maybe that was.
Do you know what you want? You want to marry me, motherfucker? I tell you what. You're gonna die. No, it was not a good. He's a very nice person, and he meant well, but I'm sorry. Did I scare you? Don't. It's okay.
Well, Professor just wants loves. He just loves everybody.
He's a lurver.
He's a lurver.
Explain to your listeners.
Oh, we're talking about dogs.
Yes,
we're
Professor
not talking.
Moriarty.
Yeah.
For those who listen on a regular basis, Professor Moriarty, as you know, is our studio manager.
That's
and,
right.
He comes in and makes sure everybody's okay. And
Yeah, and I was screaming like Axl Rose, and he jumped up and he's like, "Hey, are you good?
You all right? You okay?
You
You need
okay?
anything? You want a calming pill?
A calming pill." I love that. But no, I've only been proposed to once, and it was beautiful and very romantic, but then it just wasn't the right thing.
I find it shocking that no one has ever.
I think because you're a woman. Because men, I've been told, present company excluded.
Because I mean, you're fucking kick ass. Like, or
but
one.
that's why.
Yeah, and that's what I'm afraid of. Is like that's one of the reasons why like most dudes.
But you're kick ass too, and you've been married twice.
Well, luckily, my second husband, Daniel, my current husband, he understands and gets me, and he loves, and he is very supportive about everything that I do, and he's all about pushing me to go on and do the next thing.
What was it? Can I ask you what the deal was with the first husband?
He was not interested in
Yeah.
growing. Yeah, I mean, it's not like he was a bad person,
No.
and like we were together for 8 years. It's just he had no interest in changing or
Toledo?
growing. No, here in Pittsburgh.
Oh,
like
wow.
he just had no interest in growing anymore, and I wanted to do other things, and he was just very settled in his ways. And that's not bad. That's just not what I was looking for.
Was he older?
No, he was actually like 2 years younger than me.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. But Dan, he's 3 years older than me, and he's just all about the change and constant movement. Let's do like, dude, like when we
Yeah.
were together for like 3 months. 3 or 4 months before he proposed.
Wow.
Like,
See,
we
that's
moved
kind
in-
of That's kind of great.
Yeah, and it was just like immediate. Like we were just like, yeah, boom, let's do this. And then like we bought a house, we got married, he started doing business like all within the same year, and it was just like, so we have been through like a lot of stuff already,
Right.
and we've only been married for 5 years.
It's also it's kind of been hard for me because I'm a few things. Like I'm a moving target. I'm only in a place for 24 hours. And when I ended when I broke up with my fiance years ago, I was like, well, I guess I could just maybe do the rock star thing and get laid and be like, you.
Right.
And all my girlfriends were like, oh my God, you're so lucky. You're single and you're hot and you're touring the world and you're just going to get so much fucking action. It's going to be so amazing. I'm like, yeah, I'm stoked. And I swear to you, I couldn't, if I set my tits on fire, I couldn't get a guy to jack off to put it out.
Are you fucking
I
kidding
am
me?
not kidding me. And
scared.
it was because,
They're scared.
well, yeah, that's what I kept getting told. And I said, but okay, I understand I'm tall, I'm strong, I'm on stage, maybe that's intimidating. But do I come across as mean or a bitch? And everyone's like, no. You just look like a lot to deal with. And I was like, but you only got to deal with me for like 2 hours. And really only your dick has to deal with me.
It's like we can just shut it.
We
don't
can
have
just
to talk
fucking
at
just
all.
shut the fuck up and just like, give me a minute. I'm going to take a shower, just lay down, whatever. And so I'm going to tell you a story about it kind of broke my fast. It was really kind of amazing. I was on tour in Spain, and I was just having no luck. And I was also still really sad about breaking up with my relationship because I felt like a fool. I was like, I fell for the whole marriage thing. I fell for the whole, oh my God, someone wants to marry me, and the romance of it. And I'm not cynical, but being snowed kind of by that whole idea is not my higher self. I was just kind of bamboozled and swept off my feet. Literally swept off my feet. The guy was very romantic and he really knew what to do, and he wasn't a bad guy.
Right.
But so we're on tour in Europe, and we have this amazing promoter. He's from Turkey. And his name is Sinan, and he is very, very gay, and he calls me darling, my beauty, my beauty. And the band leader was like, we got to get Storm laid. we gotta get Storm.
What's on the itinerary?
We
got
find,
sound check.
Because the band leader was going through a breakup at the same time. And so I don't know if he was actually doing this, but he got to hang out with really nice looking boys. And so anyway, he sits me down, the band leader, and he says, when we get to Madrid, there's going to be a boy for you. And I was like, oh my God, I have to pay someone to have sex with me? Are you fucking kidding me? Am I not? Everybody tells me I'm beautiful or whatever. Is it not true? Am I like totally crazy? And really? And so I was like, I don't know, whatever. Okay, fine. You know what? Fucking fine. Obviously there's.
Like, seriously, you had to pay for this dude?
Wait.
Okay.
So we get to Madrid, we do the show, and it's a great show. And I'm kind of looking around. I'm like, oh my God, now I'm really nervous. And Sinan is like, darling, I have nice boy for you. He say if you want him, he want you. And I was like, I feel so horrible. This is so horrible. I can't believe I'm doing this. But I'm like, whatever. Okay, fine. I'm signing autographs. And all of a sudden I hear this, he's over there. And I look, and it looks like there's a soccer team sort of standing, these incredibly handsome boys. And I felt like Madeline Kahn in in History of the World. And she's like, you, no, yes. And I was like, oh my God, this is so surreal. This is so crazy. So anyway, I meet this man, and I'm like, what do I do? How do I do? Do I have to give him a flower? What do I don't understand how this works. And he goes, darling, you go to your room, and you take a shower, have a drink, and he will be there. And I was like, okay. And so I'm totally freaking out. And so he comes to my room. I give him a beer. And I was like, and I speak a little Spanish, so I was like, I'm gonna just take a quick hot shower and I'll be out. And he's like, take your time. He sits down, this very handsome man, and I'm in the shower. And I'm just like, holy shit, holy shit, holy shit, holy shit. I feel like that then Risky Business when he's like, holy shit, holy shit, holy shit, holy shit, and I'm like, oh my god. And then finally, this voice in my head goes, God damn it, dude, you want to get laid? Just let this guy do his job. Just let him do his thing. He wants to be here.
Right.
He's making money. Just do the thing, right? So I put on a robe, and I'm like, okay, I'll do this, right? And so I sit down, and we have this conversation half in Spanish. He doesn't speak hardly any English. So we're using, I have a little translation thing. He has a little translation thing. So I'm speaking in as much Spanish as I can. But when he starts to ask me, he's like, so you don't have a boyfriend? And I was like, no, I'm scary, I think.
No tienes un novio?
Right, and right. And I said, and he said, yo no comprendo. And I said, and I looked online, and I got on my translation. I said, men think that I am scary. I'm frightening. And he looks at that, and he's like, I think you're beautiful, and you're so polite, and you're so nice, and I'm so happy that I get to be here with you. You're lovely. And I said, well, if you weren't arranged to be here, would you have talked to me after the show? And he said, oh, no way. And I was like, why? Do you think I'd be mean to you? And he said, well, no, I just think there's a line around the block of guys waiting for you, and who am I? And I was like, well, you're here right now. And he's like, indeed I am. And homie, he picked me up, motherfucker, by my butt and threw me on the bed, and it was just like, hallelujah, we got a pro.
Game on,
and
bitches.
It was on, and I'm like, everybody shut up, phone off the hook, fuck you. And it was just like, what? This young man just like throwing me around. He kept calling me princess, and he's like, I can't believe how beautiful. I can't believe how beautiful you are. Oh my, I can't believe I'm here. And I'm like, you are good. You are so good. And I was like, this is amazing. And then finally, after like a bunch of rounds, he said, me matas. He's like, you killed me. And I was like, I'm good. I don't want to hurt you. You're fine. I'm good. And I'm starting to think, oh my God, is he gonna need money now? What's gonna happen? And is it gonna get weird?
Is there gonna be extra?
And he sets his alarm. He's like, I have to work in the morning. So I'm gonna set the alarm, but I don't want to disturb you. So you just sleep here, and I'll put the phone on this side. And I was like, oh, he's gonna sleep here. Okay, weird. I guess hookers
They
in
do
Spain.
things different in
I guess
Spain.
hookers in Spain sleep over. So he curls up behind me, and he holds on to me, and he's breathing into my hair. He's like sighing into my skin. He's just like, you're so beautiful. I can't even believe I'm here. And then the next morning, his alarm goes off, and he says, in Spanish, he goes, can I have your phone number? Because I would so love to see you again. And I was like, well, yeah. Oh, yeah, I guess, because it would be rude if I came here and got a different hooker. I mean, of course.
Is there a loyalty card?
Right. So I give him, is there a punch card? Like I get like 50 bones and then I get a free one. And so he kisses me, and he's like, I don't want to leave, but my father will kill me if I miss work. And I'm like, where are you going to work? He's like, oh, I do construction with my father. And I was like, oh, okay, well, I guess you must moonlight with your dick or whatever. I don't know. So he leaves, right? And I'm just like, that was the best night ever. And so I get up and I have breakfast and I walk down.
Disney birds come through the window and dress you with your robe.
Like la 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 la. And I come down the stairs and I run right into our promoter, our Turkish promoter. He goes, somebody looked like they had a very nice time last night. And I went up to him and I hugged him and I said, you know what? Thank you so much. That was the best night I've had in so long. And he was amazing. And he said, I know, I told you he was nice. And I said, how much was it? And he goes, oh, you no pay. And I go, no, honey, please. Honest to God, it was just incredible. And you're not paying for it. I don't want the band to pay for it. I think
Right.
I feel weird. So please tell me how much. And he goes,
Storm's
he's
fuck
like,
fund.
he's like, Stormy, darling, you no pay. And I go, then just tell me how much it was, just so I know. And he goes, darling, he see your picture. I say to nice single boy, this is my friend. She want man. And he said, if she want me, I want her. That he was, he no fuck boy for money. He want to be with you. And I was like, what? And I literally stood in the hotel lobby with my aching ass, my sore ass jaw, and dick bruises all over my face. And I'm like, and I started to cry.
Oh my goodness.
And I was like, and I got right then, a text from this man. And he goes, I can still taste you in my mouth.
oh my
What
goodness.
a wonderful night. Thank you. I can't wait to see you again. And I was like, it was a beautiful thing.
Oh my God.
It was a beautiful thing, and it was for free, and it was just it was kind of eye-opening for me.
Would you have liked to have known beforehand that it was? Would that have changed any way that you had approached this? Or
I might have chickened out because I was in a situation where I felt like it takes a village. It takes a village to get Storm laid. And I felt like everybody had kind of put in an effort and found this guy and like raised the money. I'm picturing everybody like putting in the pooling in the money.
We've
to, like,
got a
help me out.
Kickstarter for Storm's
A
fuck fund.
Kickstarter for Storm's sad, lonely pussy on the road. And I totally thought that that's what it was. And I was like, I can't. I have to have sex with this guy because everybody's like gone out of their way. What a dick if I don't like do it. And so, but then I think if I knew it was just some kid
who just wanted you.
Not a kid. I mean, he was
A dude who wanted
he was
you.
30, and he was like, holy shit, really?
Mm.
And from then on, I mean, I still had issues for a while, and about
what, sitting?
well,
issues?
no, I still had issues for a while with one-nighters. I'm just like, I guess I just don't look. I'm so, maybe because I'm such a mush. I'm so obviously a sensitive person that I am not one of those people that can just like rock a one-nighter and walk away.
Really?
Yeah, I have in the past. But I was back in Portland, back off the road, and was telling my friend this story about how I couldn't get laid. And he was like, fuck you, you're not kidding anybody. And I was like, dude, and I gave him like 4 examples, and then the guy that I thought had to be paid and all that stuff. And he goes, I would have been there, and I would have fucking put a bow on my dick, and I would have been there, blah blah blah. And I'm like, really? And we're sitting in my kitchen, and I was like, my bed's upstairs. What you got going on for the next hour and a half? And
well, I got this thing I
right.
gotta do.
That's what happened. Exactly what happened. And I'm like,
puss.
motherfucker.
Oh,
What the
hell?
And so I was just like, man,
lame.
no, but it's common. It's common. It's because I mean, I know I look good, whatever. I for my age, I know I'm attractive, and you know, I wasn't always attractive, and maybe that's I come across as kind of a dude or something, but I don't know. I don't know. It's very
I don't know
interesting.
if you come across. I guess me as a woman, I just won't see it because I mean I see you and I'm just like, oh my God, kindred spirits.
Right.
Like I'm just
yeah.
First of all, it's the fact of another woman that's so as tall as I am.
You're taller than me.
You're 6 foot, aren't you?
No, I'm 5'11".
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, but it's nice. It's always very nice because to like, oh my God, yes.
Yeah, when
I
Dave
don't
was
feel-
driving over, he's like, "Thank you so much for doing this." I'm like, "Are you kidding? She makes me feel little, and she smells so good."
So there's that, and then there's also like I have a tendency to kind of like be, I guess, quote unquote, dude-esque sometimes, and I've always been more comfortable around dudes.
Me too.
As opposed to women, just some unfortunate shit that happened in high school, but it's just one of those things that's always been my way, and this podcast has been my way of reintroducing and trying to forge better female friendships and relationships.
Oh wow!
Which is why I decided to just fully focusing on female power and just like women who need a spotlight shown upon them, and that's kind of why this is even happening. But yeah, so like I guess I see just a bit of myself.
Definitely.
And which is why I'm just like, I don't understand why anybody wouldn't want you.
Because you're lovely. Because you're lovely. But it's just, I've been told a bunch of different ways that I'm intimidating, that I'm allowed to take. And my band are like brothers. They're my brothers. And they have told me in some different ways, they're like, well, men like to feel like they can bring something.
Right.
And you are so strong, and so kind of you feel like you got it kind of dialed, and you're good. You don't need anything. And I was like, yeah, but that's kind of bullshit because I don't have a dick.
Yeah, and sometimes we do like to be picked up, thrown around, and being called thrown around,
right.
Called a princess.
Well, the princess thing was weird, but getting chucked around, I tell you, it's the whole being chucked against the wall thing. I'm a fan.
Oh, absolutely.
I'm a fan. And, did you ever see that stupid TV show I did? I was on a reality show 10 years ago.
Oh, Rockstar
Supernova. And it wasn't stupid. It was actually really cool. It was real singing and real rock and roll music.
I remember seeing some of those, but I didn't make the connection that you were on there.
I never saw the show. I've seen some snippets of it. But because Mark Burnett is the producer and he produces a lot of reality shows, someone on one of his shows had commit suicide the year before. And so they were very careful in the vetting process of making sure people were psychologically profiled to make sure that never happened again. It wasn't Mark Burnett's fault, but he's a strong, smart businessman, but he's very sensitive. He has children, and he's kind of religious, and he felt so responsible for this man's life. Really? He did. He felt really horribly about it. Wow. And so we were being psychoanalyzed before we were vetted and allowed to be on this show. And so I was scared because my mother was mentally ill. And I was like, fuck, they're going to see some shit. Oh, God damn it. Oh, there goes that. Whatever. I'm singing. I got a job. I had a good career at that point. But psychiatrist does this profile, and he doesn't ask me directly if I have anybody in my family who was mentally ill. And, my mom was traumatized. She wasn't technically mentally ill. Maybe she was an addict at the end of her life. But so I sit down, and we're at this Santa Monica hotel where everybody's being vetted. And the psychiatrist sits me down. He's like, okay, so you're pretty much typical. You're a typical artist. You're a little bit self-absorbed. You're a little bit vain. You're hypersexual, very creative. But there is something very interesting that popped up in your profile. I was like, really? What is that mean? And I was like, please don't. No, I'm gonna. He said, don't take this the wrong way, but you're a man. And I was like, really?
Interesting.
So I'm gay? And he said, no, it has nothing to do with sexual preference. It has nothing to do with sexual preference. He goes, the way you problem solve, the way you meet challenges, the way you move through life is masculine. It's purely masculine. He's like,
interesting.
He's like, I can see you're a woman and you have feminine qualities, your creativity and your maternal instincts. You have very strong maternal instincts, but everything else, you're a man.
Huh.
Yeah. And I thought that was pretty interesting.
Yeah, that is.
But not surprising.
No. And that would be a test that I would be very interested to see.
It was a bunch of. It's a famous. Do you know what that is? It's a famous personality test with a bunch of yes or no questions.
It's not the Briggs.
It's Myers. The Briggs Myers was one because that's the one that says, are you going to be like to denote whether you're homicidal or suicidal? If you be self-destructive or outwardly destructive. They made us go through that. They made us go through all these other things.
Just to be clear, I would also like to take a test like that because I've been kind of like I'm kind of fascinated by serial killer, mass murder type stories and things of that nature.
Yeah, snapped.
Yeah, oh my God.
Right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
there's,
So
like,
so now we're friends, and now we're gonna like be in pajamas and watching
and like
movies and
sex
stuff.
together. Oh my God! Did
Oh
you
my
see what this
God,
bitch just did? Oh my God! So, what is the legacy you want to leave behind?
I want to make sure that the majority of my work, and I think the majority of my work is like what you saw last night, is live and spontaneity. I'm a decent songwriter, but that's not my...
Girl, please, that shit is empowering lyrics. Like, I love, like, fucking beautiful.
Oh, thank you.
That's...
She was over the top and out of control. She ran away when she was 13 years old, but she had her feet on the ground, and nobody pushed her around. Her mommy said, "You better be a good girl." Her teacher said,
that's like, I think that one's my favorite.
That's like one of the first autobiographical songs that I wrote.
Really?
Yeah. But I don't consider myself a good songwriter because I'm not prolific. Like Randy Newman, I've worked with Randy Newman. Homie gets up, makes coffee or tea or whatever, has his breakfast, goes, takes a shit, and then he sits down at the fucking piano. He's there all goddamn day. And he'll write 50 things that he'll throw away, but he'll work every day. So I am more of a I will entertain the person making my coffee. I will entertain the guy driving me to the airport. I will entertain. My thing is like, I have to change the energy. I'm on quite a bit. Poor thing has been driving me around. He's so tired. Look at his face. He has aged so much. He loves me, but I make him so tired.
What is your sign?
Cancer.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But my legacy, I hope, is that I helped some people, and I've heard this from some people from my book and from my play, and that I made them feel that it was okay to be a misfit, to be an outcast, to feel like they don't fit in. And I think it's nowadays it's kind of, I look hot and I look sexy and I look like a traditionally commercially acceptably attractive woman.
Right.
But I wasn't. I shaved my head and I paint black stripes across my eyes, and I would get into trouble and get into fights, have black eyes, and fucking steal, Mercedes emblems off of cars and run from the cops and get arrested for drugs and whatever, and was fat and angry and miserable and didn't know where I belonged. The hot thing happened literally in my 30s, and it was kind of like a superpower, kind of like, holy shit.
Right.
You find a cape and you put it on and you're like, fuck. Okay, fuck.
Yeah.
And I got hot just in time to start disintegrating and becoming old and infertile. So I've been like, this is amazing. It's kind of like being a drag queen. You're like, I'm going to use this fucking power for a minute, And, but that's when a lot of feminists kind of discount me, and you find you have to really prove yourself as a substantial human being with something that matters to say, other than being, that's kind of the problem that I have sometimes with feminists is there's such a strict criteria. And if I have friends who are fighting a battle in this direction, and then they're criticized by other feminists for not fighting this battle or acknowledging this battle. And it's like, you know what? There's a lot to fight.
There's so much
to fight. And if you start fighting me because I'm fighting on behalf of someone who you're not bothered with.
Right. That doesn't make you any better. That makes you just...
It makes you kind of a dick.
Right, exactly.
It makes you the fucking Republican Senate who won't let Obama do anything just because he's Obama.
Right.
It's like, let me fight my fight, because I'm fighting for the greater good. I want to give people without a voice. I want to make a little kid who feels like she has nothing to say, that she is not worth a thing. I want to pick her up and make her feel, literally, I swear to God, one moment, just in one moment, you can take a child and you can make them believe always, for however they feel about you, if they feel like you're an important person to them, and you tell them, you're going to be fine. I see you, and you're going to be fine. They will. They'll believe it, and they'll hold on to that. And maybe it's not the fight that I'm supposed to be fighting in the larger, in the macrocosm of sexism, but that little girl feels like she fucking can, because I told her, and she may grow up 1,000 times smarter than both of us.
Right. You have made the world of difference to that one person, that one little girl. It
takes very, very little in some cases. It takes a lot in some cases, like taking a bat to somebody's fucking car.
Right.
Be like, see me now, bitch?
Right.
But sometimes it's that small. And that's what I want my legacy to be, is like small or large, I made people feel like things are possible, that they matter, that they are heard, and that they are loved, and that shit hits the fan, and when it hits the fan, shit gets everywhere. But you clean yourself off and you fucking move the fan. You don't shit there anymore,
Right.
and you figure out another way.
That is spot on. Like, that is absolutely beautiful. Yes, I absolutely agree with that. What is something you haven't done yet that you want to do?
God. Taking a vacation. I don't know.
Just
never-
a vacation to some place where you don't have to work or do anything. You can catch up on your Kindle reading.
Well, no, I don't know. I constantly do. Like, I have a lot of young musicians, a lot of young women who want to be musicians, and they're like, how do I get to where you are? And I go, you got to eat shit for 10 years and work harder than everyone else. Because you know what? You're cute and you got a good voice. Today, I could find 50 people better looking with better voices. So what are you going to do? You're going to be disheartened by that, or are you going to just keep doing it?
Right.
You just keep doing it. And you work really, really hard. And you work hard in ways that you might not understand right now, but you just keep. There's a phrase I always use called "follow the yes." You have to follow the yes, and the yes doesn't mean it's an easy open door. It's your gut going, "Shit, I really want to fucking do that," and go. You go in that direction, and you're gonna hit the wall. You're gonna hit the wall. You're gonna hit the wall, but then eventually the wall will give, or you'll have to go to like the doctor because you hit your head so many times, but then the doctor might have thinner walls, and then you go through that wall, and then you find where you're supposed to be. So, I don't know. What I haven't done yet, I'm about to drop a name, and don't be annoyed.
Okay.
David Fincher. David Fincher saw my one-woman show. He saw it on video and asked for a meeting. And I think he read my book, too. And I took a meeting with him in LA, and the really pretty much one of the stupidest things I've ever fucking done, because I'm not a Hollywood person and I don't know anything about it. Steven Soderbergh shares an office with David Fincher. I don't know if he still does. But I'm sitting in the waiting room. I don't know who anybody fucking looks like. So this tall, handsome, gangly, kind of dorky looking guy, he's like, hello. And I go, hi, I'm just waiting for Mr. Fincher. My name's Storm Large, if you want to tell him I'm here. And he goes, I can do that. Is there anything else? I'm like, yeah, is there any coffee? I can make it myself. I just don't, I've never been here. Is there coffee somewhere? And he goes, so you'd like some coffee? And I'm like, oh, you could get me some, yeah, I could do it. And he's like, oh no, I'll get you some coffee. And he goes away, and he comes back, he brings me an espresso, and I was like, well, thank you so much. And if you'd let Mr. Fincher know I'm here, that'd be great. And he's like, okay. And so he knocks on the door, and he's like, David, there's a storm to see you. And he goes, great, send her in. And I come in, and I was like, hey, Mr. Fincher. And he goes, yeah, please, call me Fincher, call me Dave, whatever. And he goes, have you met my buddy Steven Soderbergh? And I'm like,
well, Steven makes an excellent cup of espresso.
My pants were filled with feces. I was like, I looked at him, and I'm like, hi, nice. Thanks thank you so much for the coffee. And, yeah, wow. Hey, okay then. So anyway, Fincher asked me that. He said, holy shit, okay, what do you want to do? What do you want to do? And I said, honestly, I would like to be in something, a film or a TV show or some kind of art project where I don't have to schlep it all out myself. Like my whole life, I've been told I could do these things and I'm so amazing and I'm so this and that and whatever. But I always end up having to just manufacture all of the art myself and then put it together and produce it and then make it go out there and then promote it. And I have to do everything myself. And I'd love to have the kind of talent where I could be sort of chameleon and be an actor and play a part and be in a film, or I don't know. And he looks at me, he's like, yeah, no, that's not who you are.
Wow.
And I was like, oh, okay. And he goes, yeah. He's like, you're a great writer. He's like, you have a voice. He goes, not everybody has a voice. Use your voice. Write something for yourself. Let me know when you do. And I was like, fuck. Okay. Shit. And he goes, no, you're great. You're great. And he's like, it's way more fruitful to write it yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Because if someone's writing something for you, he's like, yeah, you could be someone's fucking wife or someone's lover or the murderer or something. He's like, why? Why would you do that when you can write it yourself? So that was years and years. That was about 7 or 8 years ago.
Mm.
And yeah, I'm still writing. I haven't come up with anything yet.
I don't doubt that you'll get there. And
Yeah.
I'm super stoked to see what that is.
Nice.
When you have it.
What are you working on?
Oh, Jesus Lord. I produce a local film competition called the 48-Hour Film Project.
Mm-hmm.
And we challenge filmmakers to make a short film in 48 hours. We give them a line of dialogue, a prop, a character, and a genre. And David was kind enough to be a judge one year.
Mm-hmm.
And so that happened. This is my 8th year producing.
Oh, my God.
And so this starts off up again this month, actually.
Cool.
And, I've got several podcasts. And I just started working for the Office of Public Art here in Pittsburgh. And so we're working on some really cool public...
Are we allowed to say what you're doing?
So, we're working on a bunch of cool public arts pieces that are happening
awesome.
Downtown and stuff. And, I've always got a bunch of stuff going on.
Well, if you ever need a big mouth singer to come and, draw attention to something, I love Pittsburgh, and I love coming and visiting.
How do you take care of yourself, Storm? How do you make sure Storm is, outside of your tour managers, getting Spanish boys?
Getting me laid.
Getting
Oh, my
Spanish boys
God.
to take care of you.
The most important thing on the road is sleep.
Mm.
It's the most important thing. And I don't often get a lot of it. But what you do is you look at your tour schedule. You try to figure out where you're going to have a late morning with no commitments. And you really make sure you fuck the shit out of the sand, man. And you just stay in bed and hydrate. Make sure you eat well. Sometimes you'll stay in a hotel that has a nice gym, working out. But really, sleep is the most important thing. Tour buses, everyone thinks, not everybody, but a lot of people think that touring on a tour bus is very glamorous. It's pretty much for a young band who's like, oh, we're going to go on tour. My advice to you is to just accept the fact that you're not going to necessarily have a good night's sleep ever when you're on tour.
Oh.
It's a series of naps.
Yeah.
It's a series of naps. You take cat naps when you can. You sleep as long as you can at night to keep your circadian rhythms going. But you rest. You unplug. Turn off your phone. Make it dark. Be quiet. Be still. Save your energy. Vitamins. Vitamins are huge. I had adrenal failure after my one-woman show was done. It was 5 months, totally sold out. One-woman show, 2 hours long, just me with a band, 8 days a week, 8 shows a week. And when I was done, my hair started falling out, and I was like 15 pounds lighter than I am now.
God.
And I was fainting all the time, and my heart had this serious arrhythmic thing going on. So I had to get IVs of vitamins, and so you might be hurting yourself and not know it. So really rest, vitamins, and water. Rest, but
Drink your water, kids.
But if anything, sleep. Sleep is the most important thing.
Yeah. God, I love a good night's sleep. There's so many times you get in there, it's like, yeah, I've been waiting for this all day.
Ask anybody who's just had a baby.
No.
It's fucking sleep. It's
I
all
couldn't
about
imagine.
the sleep.
I couldn't imagine. Okay, so we're going to take a break.
Okay.
And then we're going to come back, and I'm going to ask you a bunch of random questions.
Cool. You got to fill my glass with rye.
I was going to do that, too.
Okay. Thank you.
boy beneath my tree, 'cause I'm the forbidden fruit you always long to know. I'll shoot you through the heart with poisoned love arrows. Take a bite of me, I'll take a bite of you. Oh, lose me now and learn what love's like without you. Oh, dominoly, when you came to me like a picture show, neither one did know I abandoned hope. Now wouldn't do for me, hanging on your vine. I require that your love be mine and only mine. 'Cause I am the forbidden fruit you always long to know. My lips are cherry pie, and my pleasure is magical. From skin to flesh to core, from stem to branch to roots. Love me only, baby, for I'm forbidden
All right, so you're gonna ask me some random rapid fires.
Yep. All right.
I'm ready.
All right. What is an album that you can listen to from beginning to end?
Eye Against Eye, Bad Brains,
What's your favorite color?
red,
Are you usually late, early, or right on time?
right on time.
Favorite pizza topping?
Fresh mozzarella.
Favorite word?
Fuck.
Do you still own any cassette tapes?
I do. Well, I mean, I have a box of old 4-track recordings
Okay.
of my old band from 25 years ago.
Nice.
And I think I have a Richard Pryor cassette.
Awesome. What was your first job?
My first job, I was a maid in a hotel, but I think my first job was what is it called? Cashier at a witchcraft store.
Interesting. Are you Wiccan? This isn't one of the questions, but
No, but I totally believe in magic.
mm-hmm.
I also believe in God, but I have no real dogmatic religious background.
Okay. Last book you read?
The last book I read was, God, I usually read them simultaneously. What's the last book I read and I finished? The one that's jumping into my head is The Power of Asking by Amanda Palmer, but I know that's not the last one I read. I know I read one recently.
Okay.
Usually it's the thesaurus. I have this really old thesaurus that I read all the time.
I like it.
I love it.
That's great. Favorite song to sing?
That's hard because I sing all the time. It changes. Sometimes it's Punicunu Te Ubeam by Maria Tenase. It's a Romanian love song. And sometimes it's Beef Bologna by Fear. So, it doesn't matter.
Just depends on the mood.
Yeah, really, seriously.
Would you survive a zombie apocalypse?
Probably, because I'm not afraid of hitting a dead motherfucker with a shovel in the head.
Word. Celebrity you would love to have dinner with?
Dinner with a celebrity. Does a celebrity cook? Dead or alive?
Alive.
Alive. Celebrity I'd like to have dinner with. I would like to have dinner with the president.
Okay.
With Barack Obama. And just be like, dude, I'm sorry, man. Fuck.
They did you sour. They did you
Who
wrong,
do you
man.
want me to fucking pound? I'll do it.
Yeah, they fucking did you dirty, bro. Do you know any jokes?
Usually my humor is just kind of observational. Do I know any jokes? I do, but some of them are like cute and kid friendly, and then others are just sort of long shaggy dog stories that you heard last night.
Okay.
But the one joke that I tell little kids that I always thought it was really funny, and it's not even dirty, was like a piece of string walks into a bar, and he's like, "Hey bartender, I want a beer." And the bartender's like, "How old are you?" And he's like, "Whatever. Fuck off." It's like, get out of here, man. You're not old enough to be in here." And the piece of string leaves, and he's all pissed off. And he leaves, and he's pissed, and he fucking starts banging his head against a wall in the alley, and he's like wrecking shit, and he's knocking over trash cans, and he's tying himself all up, and he's like smashing his head against the wall, and he's fucking like, fuck you, man. I'm old enough to have a fucking drink. And he's all mess, and he comes back, he's got trash all over himself. He goes back in the bar, and he goes, "I want a beer." And the bartender's like, "Aren't you that same piece of string that came in here a minute ago?" And he goes, "No, I'm afraid not." Which is the stupidest joke ever, but I can tell little kids that joke without all the cussing.
What makes you bored?
What makes me bored? Oh, God. People who only believe what they've been told.
What is your favorite part of the human face and why?
I love mouths.
I think we know why.
I love them. Well, not just for what they can do for me. No, but obviously I love looking at eyes. I see the face, and then I see the body, and it's like the body is also a face for me. The tits are the eyes, and the midsection is the mouth. Mm-hmm. And but the mouth communicating, the eyes have micro expression, but so does the mouth. And if someone has really yummy lips, I love just kind of watching them while they're talking.
Favorite cartoon?
Cartoon, like a TV cartoon or a movie?
Either.
Let's see. I used to love the old World War II Bugs Bunnies.
Oh, nice.
They were pretty funny. They were pretty awesome. And political. And I can't remember. There was this amazing animated film about Iran. Do you remember?
About Iran?
It was an animated film about Iran. An animation firm in Portland did Leica. They did the animation for it, and I can't remember the name of it, but it was It was about a girl, an Iranian girl, after the war, after the Ayatollah. God, what was it called?
Dave, you got anything?
Not dystopia. Do you know what I'm talking about?
I can't really.
It's like dystopia or Albania or like it's a beautiful.
We're almost done, Dave. Don't worry.
I forgot the name.
We're almost there, buddy.
Like a Iranian cartoon.
You've got a smartphone. All right. Can you do any accents?
I can do British, and when I've been in England, I have spoken with other English people, and they've said that your accent sort of it travels through neighbourhoods. Like sometimes I'll say something with a more northern sing-songy kind of sort of poor like port sort of accent. It's a little more like informal, but I can also speak in High British, which is also known as standard American speech. I think David, having studied Shakespeare, to do Shakespeare, you have to do standard American speech, which is called American speech, but it is phonetically British.
I'm absolutely giddy right now
Oh,
listening to
really?
you.
I learned how to sing by being a mimic. So I could imitate. I can imitate almost every single accent, but I have to hear somebody speaking in that accent to get it.
That's funny. I am kind of a mimic as well, and it's always, it tends to be like a lot of times people's mannerisms and tics or things like that. And also, if I'm around someone that has an accent of
Yeah, I
sorts,
start
it's like
picking
I'll
it up.
absolutely like I'll seep.
Oh
right
yeah,
into it.
when I'm in Louisiana, I'll start talking like this. Persepolis.
Okay.
Persepolis. Have you seen it?
No, I have not.
It's an incredible film. It's beautiful and very simply drawn, and the story is incredible. It's one of my favorite animated films.
Okay.
And also Up. Up made me cry.
Oh my god.
Oh my god. My two. I went through a breakup of I had been in a relationship for 7 years. It was my last super long-term relationship, which was a long, long time ago. And my two married gay friends were like, girl, we are taking you to a movie and fuck that stupid motherfucker. And you're coming with us. And we go to Up. And we have popcorn, and I have a little hidden flask of whiskey. And the first fucking 20 minutes is all about true love.
Right.
And I'm sitting between them. I'm like, and they're both like, this wasn't a good idea.
This
was a
poor
bad
choice.
idea. We're so sorry. I'm like, love isn't real. It's so sad.
Yeah.
But it was awesome.
Yeah, the
It
beginning of that movie. Like, it's the
Oh
great
my
movie
God.
at the beginning is just like, oh my god, fuck you.
You're like, fuck you, shoot me in the fucking head. Give me some, can I have some jujubes, some Junior Mints, some popcorn, and a fucking 9, a Glock 9. I'm just going to put it under my fucking
Just wanna put it in my
chin.
mouth.
Asshole.
And fucking
God
deal with
damn
this.
it.
with their damn true love that
Shit. Spoiler alert, she died.
Yeah, and it's not cute. It's not cute at all. Can you drive a stick?
Yeah, fuck yeah. I learned how to drive in a fucking tractor, and then the next
Nice.
thing I learned how to drive was this ancient Volvo that had holes in the floor. You could see the street. I learned how to drive with a stick.
Fucking dig it. Do you remember your dreams?
I do.
Coffee or tea?
Coffee.
Last movie you saw in the theater?
I saw the Star Wars movie.
Nice. If you could have any superpower, what would it be?
Flying.
Michael Jackson or Prince?
Prince.
You never get tired of blank.
Shut up. Shut up.
You watch your fucking mouth there, David.
You
Conrad.
watch your mouth, Mr. David Conrad. We're not allowed to talk like that
Watch it, you
anymore.
don't get a little
I
dirty.
don't get tired of hope.
Love it. If I gave you a plane ticket to anywhere in the world, where would you go? No.
Don't feel bad.
Describe yourself in one word.
Real.
And that, my darling girl, is a wrap.
I love you.
I love you.
You're my new friend.
Oh my God.
I'm a good cook too, so you can always
Love
have me over.
it.
Are you omnivorous or are you vegan?
I don't eat red meat.
Okay.
But that's pretty much, that's weird.
I'm
and I
still
don't
a
eat
good
shellfish.
cook.
Apparently,
I don't really do the shellfish
Apparently,
either.
I'm more kosher than my Jewish husband.
No, I grew up in New England, and I grew up eating lobster, and I love shellfish and stuff like that. But I've been over the last decade not into mussels or clams.
No, my.
Yeah, no, but I cook the red meat, but I'm also a good
burgers?
roaster of things.
Turkey burgers are always my if I'm at a restaurant and they offer turkey burger, that's what I'm doing.
I make a pretty good duck meatloaf.
Interesting.
Yeah, because duck has a nice natural fat to it, and it grabs the fat in the duck meat grabs the herb really well. If I use a lot of minced sage and rosemary, I'll make you a nice duck meatloaf one time.
Okay, and then I will reciprocate in I make an amazing cornbread dressing.
Okay, I think we have I think we have a date.
I love it. Where can people find everything about you? We're on the social medias.
Stormlarge.com, and my Twitter and my Instagram are storm69.
Of course it is.
Yeah, because it's the year I was born.
Oh, that's what.
Yeah.
Everything around.
Honestly, no.
Upside down that you're-
No, listen. I'm super sexual, but honestly, 69 is one of my least favorite things.
No one's done it since '69.
No, I don't like.
Say that in,
No, like 69ing is.
It's
It's hard because
it's
I
like
get.
gravity.
No, I love. It's like I'm either gonna give you a blowjob or you're gonna go down on me, because if I have you in my mouth and I have an
can't
orgasm,
concentrate.
we're in trouble.
Yeah.
There's gonna
shit is
be
gonna get real.
there's gonna be a bad thing that
No,
happens.
absolutely. I fucking.
I
get it.
like the idea of a 69, but it's like it's a dangerous game.
Danger zone.
It's true. You're taking your life in your own hands. You put your
It's
fucking
your
shit in my
own
mouth
fault.
and you make me excited.
And then I'm gonna bite the fucker off.
It's
and
very.
it's
I
your
won't
own
bite it
fault.
off, but I
It
wanna,
might happen.
I was with a man one time and his cock was so huge. It was like a fucking. You ever seen those fucking like giant Aquanet fucking hair?
The fucking
hairspray?
Aquanet with the
hairspray
giant can all up in there.
Yeah, and I
From the
fucking
80s.
and I tried, and I was like, you know what? I had to stop the whole thing, and I was like, you know what, honey? Professionally, I have to apologize because I like to think that I am some kind of a professional here, but I'm not gonna be able to headbutt you in the stomach because I'm telling you, you're pretty majestic.
I'm telling
And
you right now, you are like a unicorn.
You're
and
a
I'm not
fucking
gonna be
you're a
able to deal with
unicorn
this.
and like a fucking you're a fucking tennis ball can. And why don't you go? Here's the thing. Why don't you watch a movie? I'm gonna go get some help, and then I'll be back with some backup because fucking hell, you're gonna put me in the fucking hospital.
What we're not gonna do is you're not gonna get me.
You're
all
not.
lockjaw.
Here's
you're not
the
gonna
thing.
stretch me
You're
out.
not gonna.
I'm not
you're
giving
not,
birth to your cock.
I tried. He wanted so very much to have sex with me, and I was like, "Listen, I'm very flattered, but I kind of need my vagina tomorrow, and I'm not in the mood to experience what women experience when they have to have an episiotomy and birth. It's not my thing. Some women might find this very exciting." And I feel sorry for you that your life is going to be sort of like dedicated to livestock.
Yeah.
But I can't.
Oh, hand jobs. We'll get you some lotion and we'll do a double fist.
Yeah, I'm going to. Well, can I call you? Can I call you
We'll
for
do
help
one
with
of
this
those.
thing?
It's a little backup. I'm having to call my girl. Hey.
You
okay?
here's the thing.
We're going to get in here and we're going to.
I need some help because I can't do that shit. I mean, I hear women all the time and they're like a size queen or whatever. Can't do that shit.
No, I absolutely no. I
You know
feel
what I
like
mean?
There was one dude in college one time. I was like, "Whoa, what are you doing with that?"
Yeah, the only thing I could do, like, there was a guy a few years ago, my girlfriend in New York. I was like, he got his pants off. I'm like, and then I can't do anything with that.
We're done.
What the fuck is that? Yeah, I don't fucking. I need backup for that. And so I was like, but. Can I take a picture of it? And this was before cell phones. And I was like,
So
it
I
was
get
like
out my
it was like
throwaway.
it literally was like one of those like disposable cameras. And I was like, come on, shh, it's okay. Shh, no, I'll take care of you. Please, come on, my friend won't believe this. It was like a bass. It was like guys that go fishing. And I was like, taking a picture of it with it was a fucking bass that I caught. And she lost the picture. I'm like, you fucking lost the picture of the bass cock? Are you kidding me? So funny.
It's like my greatest catch ever.
Now that I've completely ruined my political aspirations. No, I haven't.
So Storm of 69 on Twitter.
Storm of 69 on Twitter
Storm
and
Large on Facebook.
Storm Large on Facebook, Storm of 69 on Instagram.
And you are going on tour.
I'm never not on tour.
Oh my goodness gracious.
I tour with Pink Martini. You can find where I'm going to be with Pink Martini at their website, pinkmartini.com/shows. Stormlarge.com usually has my my upcoming shows and also bands in town. I'm registered, I guess, with bands in town. So
just look up Storm Large. There's no one else like her.
Yeah,
there's no other Storm Large.
Kind of all over the place.
She's gonna be the only one.
Bring your average size dongs, and they will be appreciated.
And as always, you guys can get me on Twitter at @the_RuggedAngel and go to ruggedangel.com for back episodes and iTunes, SoundCloud, all that jazz. And remember, whatever you do, do it with passion or not at all. Thank you, Storm.
Thank you, my sweet.
I love you.
I love you too.
Thanks, David, for hanging in there with the girls.
He's so vaginally courageous, isn't he?
You've got an honorary vagina today.